today to do a video sort of just looking at some of the high gain options that we got in the Fractal space. I'm not the most high gain player in the world, so Leon Todd's videos on this probably, I think, might be a better kind of place to go for more in-depth kind of high gain tips. But what I can do is kind of look at what we've got in here, and as you know, someone here sat with a baritone telly, finding the gems in here which you may or may not already know about. So we're going to go into Factory 2, and I think I want to go for, we'll go with the 906 York Audio, and maybe even double that up, an SM7. Right, so we jump into our amps. So what we got brought up here is actually by default something that I'm thinking this is probably a good place to start, because the 5150, I believe, really has been the basis for quite a lot of folks in terms of the heavier amps. Certainly, you know, loads of players have used them. So let's just bring up the crunch. Start from the starting point here, and that's the block. If you go to the plus side, I think that's the more modern. A bit of a more modern feel to that. So the block letter is kind of the first. See, with that, there's a bit more kind of fuzziness to it, and I think the more modern high gain tones go somewhere towards these more, you know, tight and less fuzzy type tones. Of course, one of the things that many people would do would be to stick a tube screamer in front to tighten things up. So if we go for the T808 and something, you know, like that, maybe. So I think the 5150 is a good place to start for heavier tones. And as you can see, it's not like you're necessarily having to do too much to get this kind of modern sound, right? So I think that might be a good choice for a starting point. Another really good place to start, these 5150s. So this is the EVH where he later went after working with PV, right? Eddie Van Halen then moved on to the EVH branded amps, and these are really good as well. And whether it's someone like Joe Plantier from Gojira, like there's loads of people that have used these amps. and more gain, but another great place to start. What we could do, pan this one left, pan this one right, and then we could align here. If we add some distance, that is quite effective in terms of getting that kind of big stereo spread happening. So other options here, we've got like FAS Brute. And things like the Thornton dial. Listen to how much bass that's got. You can hear really effectively. What that's doing there to tighten up that low end. I think that one's more recto-based. Of course, we've got Sardano as well here. Another great option. We've got the new rev options. So the a great sounding option there actually. So beautiful stuff. Archeon, I believe, is based on the PRS. Bit more mids there. Another really cool sound. So like, there are so many options. I can't really think of anything that gets anywhere close in terms of having this much that you can pull from. For me as well, if I wanted to create a lead tone out of any of these options, what I'd be going for would be, first of all, a delay. So we'd go for like a stereo type delay, digital stereo, something like this maybe. Else I might do though would be to use the enhancer block and chuck on a high cut. And maybe even parametric EQ. And what I might be doing would be shelving the high end effectively, so you and then that's kind of like a solo boost type thing that I could use with my enhance and delay. Could program that all to one switch. I don't know, to me, I think there's some really, really amazing sounding amps in here. That's not really even scratching the surface of it, but like the 5150, great place to start. The PRS Archon, a little bit, I don't know, not necessarily a classic amp yet, but really great. You've of course got diesel stuff. You've got the Bogner Ecstasy here, which might be something as an option for some kind of heavier rock stuff. You've got FAS 6160, FAS Brutal, you've got Modern and Skull Crushers and all this sort of stuff. We've got another diesel here. We've got 6160, so 5150 there as well. We've got Rectos as well, of course, which are no longer really in favour for the metal stuff. The Revs, which are kind of like a modern amp, again, it's sort of in the realm of that PRS Archon that is certainly highly regarded. The Soldano stuff. We've also got the Thordendal specific models. There's just loads of great high gain stuff here, as well as like the Mesa Sound, the JP amp. Again, I don't think necessarily the sort of amp that they're using in the metal scenes so much anymore, but certainly back in the day would have been using like Mark series amps and Recto type amplifiers. So yeah, let me know your favourite kind of metal amps and high gain amps in the Fractal world, if you would, in the comments. Possibly even the Friedman stuff can do the job as well. I'll catch you in another video soon. If you want this preset, I'll chuck that into my Gumroad folder. That was what I was using for the intro there, just switching between these and then using this as my solo boost. Thanks to G66 UK for bringing you these videos, and yeah, as I say, let me know your favourite high gain amps in the Fractal world in the comments if you would, and I'll catch you in another video soon.